Up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about this fragrance right here a little. This one is the brand is called Paris Corner. This is their Killer Oud line. This particular fragrance is called Overdose. Box, it opens this way. See, from top to bottom. It's kind of like your homage boxes or your Parfums de Marly boxes. This is the bottle right here. It's called Overdose. All the Killer Oud line, they have these same bottles, just different colors, right? These are their take on homage fragrances. As you could tell, the bottle looks like an homage bottle, just the top looks slightly different. So looking at the bottle itself, it has a frosted look, which usually when I see this frosted look on glass bottles, I think it's gonna be a fresh fragrance, right? But then I see the juice inside. It's a dark juice. When I see this type of juice, I think either like some type of dark resinous scent or a barbershop scent that's kind of strong. Maybe some tobacco, some spices and so forth. Or some leather, stuff like that, right? That's what you think when you get this color of juice. So now we got this color of juice that tells you it's gonna be a dark scent, and then a bottle that tells you it's gonna be a fresh scent. Maybe this is exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a fresh take on a dark scent DNA, if you will. Alright, I'm gonna give you two explanations to this fragrance, right? Two descriptions. Those! I tried this, I think I wore it 3 times. And then counting plus when I first bought it. When I first bought it, I just gave a spray, kind of like a first impressions and so forth. That's on my last fragrance haul video. The first one of this year. And then the third time I wore it, I looked up the notes so I could kind of have an idea of what to look for. So I have like a guide, right? Like, okay, these are the notes that are in here. Let me see if I find any of these things, right? Like, where's Waldo and shit, right? Now that we got that explanation out of the way, let me give you the first description. Being the just lamest terms, what I got from it as if I just kind of like if you just sprayed it on my hand or on a strip and you said, what does this smell like to you, right? At a store or randomly on the street, right? So I'm going to give you that one first. What I got from it, immediately it was sweet. So I was like, I think I kind of said this on the haul video when I opened it in the first impressions and whatnot. I was like, okay, this is sweet. And just because the color of the juice kind of influenced me a little bit, I was like, you know what, I think it's like, maybe like some sweet tobacco. I was like, I think it's some sweet tobacco and I'm getting a kick of cinnamon or some type of spice. But because of the sweetness, what I thought was cinnamon. You know, like those cinnamon sticks when you put them in the water, that smell you get, I was like, I'm getting that type of cinnamon with the sweet tobacco. Maybe say a little bit incensey. So that was my first description. Then the next thing I thought, I was like, or maybe it's some honey, right? I was like, maybe it's some fresh honey. Real sweet, but not like syrupy or heavy or dense, right? Like just some sweet, fresh honey. And I was like, with some type of incense or something that's giving it a smoky note, right? So that was the second, my second thought was that. I was like, maybe that's what it is. And I was like, well, it's going to have some type of spice because I could smell spices here. So I was like, well, it smells kind of fresh for what this is. It's not like a fresh summer scent, but a fresh take on a winter scent, right? So I was like, maybe ginger, because that's ginger is always the note that pops up in my head when I'm thinking a spicy note that's fresh. I always think ginger, right? So that was my thoughts. And now let me give you when I looked up the notes, then now let me get a little more descriptive with it. I almost forgot, players and playettes. Before we continue this video, can you go ahead and hit that like button? It'll really hook your boy up, you know, with the algorithm gods. Ooh. Yeah, we need all the help we can get right now because you know the way YouTube is, they be getting all complicated with the algorithm nowadays. Also, if you could hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my content, that way I'll notify you every time on your feed, every time my new videos uploaded, right? And that way if I'm reviewing a fragrance you have some interest in, or maybe you just want to see my take on a certain fragrance, bam, I will let you know right there on the feed. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, I really do appreciate that, guys. Every little bit helps. So we're gonna do the second description now. Now that we checked out the notes and so forth, let's get into it. Okay, immediately on the opening, the freshness. It says right here it has grapefruit. I was like, that's what it is. It's giving it that freshness. Got some grapefruit, but I wasn't wrong. It also says it has ginger. So I guess the combination of those gives it a fresh, uplifting take. And I was like, okay, I could definitely see now that I see that these notes are here. Still don't necessarily see the grapefruit. I don't smell it. I could definitely see more and more of the ginger the more I smell it, right? And I almost forgot, man. Let's give a spray for the YouTube gods. Woo! I don't like to spray this one too close to me like this because it makes me cough. So I gotta, you know, keep my distance from it, bro. Because that shit had me coughing when I went like this earlier. I had to delete that scene. I was like, holy shit. I was coughing like a motherfucker. So anyways, yeah, so I was like, okay, that's what's giving it its freshness and the opening. You know, I was like, I definitely get that ginger vibe right there going. Now, it doesn't say it has sweet tobacco, but it says it has tobacco. It says it has tobacco, but it says all the way in the dry down. I get that pretty much from the opening. From the beginning, it's there. It's not in the, and I don't mean the mid dry down. I mean like the dry down. It says that's when the tobacco kicks in. So I guess it's being used like as a base along with some sandalwood, right, to hold all the notes together so the fragrance can last. You definitely get some woodsy notes here. I do not get sandalwood though. To me, sandalwood is clean and creamy type of note. Here it's kind of woodsy and smoky, right? Like an incense. It smells like incense and wood, some light woods. I guess it could be the oud, although to me oud usually comes off as heavy and dense, or I could even say kind of smoky. Here these woods does not smell like oud, so I'm thinking it's the sandalwood, right? Because it smells woodsy and little incensey, but like it's hard to explain because it's not like smoky incensey, right? It's like almost like ashy. So yeah, you do get that, and it's there from the beginning. It's there from the beginning of the fragrance, and it's a very masculine fragrance. The people I showed it to, they all say the same thing, that it's kind of, they're like, yeah, it leans more masculine. Although we'll know what fragrance is, you can wear whatever you want as long as you're comfortable wearing it. You think you could pull it off, or you think it matches your outfit or whatever, go for it. You know what I mean? I have a few women's fragrances that I wear once in a while, and I'm like, you know what? It just smells good to me, so I'm rocking it. You know what I mean? Now it also says it has cardamom in the mid notes, and I love cardamom. It's a spice I really enjoy, and this has some of that, and I didn't really pick up on it at first until when I read the notes, and I was like, yeah, once I read them, I was like, I could definitely see that being in here. It definitely has that vibe to it, like the Dolce Gabbana, the one, definitely has that type of cardamom. It's more that type of cardamom than it is the La Nuit de Nom. I think it's more the first. Even the juice color is similar. So yeah, you get that cardamom. It gives it a little bit of a sex appeal to it, right? It makes it sexy, like dark and mysterious, right? Like you're somewhere out at night at a club, or at maybe at some type of a bar or something. This will smell pretty sexy, and you know, also depends the way you dress and so forth. I could definitely see this being very versatile. It could work with a leather jacket, some jeans, but it can also wear suit and tie, and it could also just be a t-shirt and shorts or something, and I think this shit will still work. Oh, I wouldn't wear it with shorts. I'll probably wear it with jeans and a tee or whatever. But yeah, I see a lot of versatility in this. Age groups, I think I use age groups just as a way to describe a fragrance, but I think to me fragrances, the scent DNAs are much more based on personality than it is age groups, right? If you like these type of smells and so forth, some tobacco, some whiskey. Actually, this says it has cognac. It has some cognac up in this piece. So I was like, damn, this shit just got all kinds of notes I love. Opening is cognac, some grapefruit, a ginger I'm okay with, but I love grapefruit, love cognac. And then it says it has tobacco, which tobacco it depends on the way it's made. I do really enjoy it, but depend on the take, right? So those are all notes I love, man. And then it has cardamom, which I also really enjoy, and cinnamon. Cinnamon, it's a favorite of mine as well. It's one I haven't found a cinnamon type of fragrance that I was like, wow, I really don't enjoy this. They've all been good. There's some better than others, right? But they've all been enjoyable. So yeah, it has that cinnamon for sure. I don't find this to change much, and as it is with a lot of these clones, they don't have a lot of depth. They don't change a lot. They might change from the opening, the first 5-10 minutes, to the middle, then it pretty much they stay that way, right? Although this one, towards the end, I'll say about 4 or 5 hours in, it does become more smoky. I will say more ashy or dusty, right? You get more of that smell, and you start getting less and less of the sweetness, right? Of the sweet spices and so forth, the cardamom, the cinnamon. Start getting less of that, and it just becomes kind of more ashy and dusty towards the last, 30 minutes or hour or so. The performance, it's a moderate projector. It's not beast mode. It's just what I would call average, right? I would consider it average. And a lot of the people that I show my fragrances to, not necessarily this one, but just fragrances in general, they like moderate projection. They don't like beast mode. I mean, we like beast mode because we want to smell the fragrance and we want it to last. But other people, like, they don't want to be smelling you all day, right? So most people, when they smell fragrances smell strong, and what comes to their mind, or what I've been told, is they don't immediately think this fragrance is strong. They usually think, oh, you over applied, you put too much on, right? So sometimes the fragrance is just strong even if you don't over apply. So they just assume like, oh, like, he doesn't know how to use a cologne, right? He's must be Italian, them Italians, they spray like 30 times. Rookie mistake. Or they'll think, oh, this is what high school kids do. They just throw all kinds of cologne on before they go to school. So anyways, that's just, little minor rant of, experiences or stuff I've been told by people I know and so forth, or how we clown on each other sometimes. Like, oh, learn how to use a cologne, and learn how to spray. So anyways, yeah, this one to me is a total winner. Like I said, this is a clone house. So this is a clone of Overturned by Maj. And what? I definitely want to try the real deal out. I'm going to check it out because this one to me was really solid. So I was like, man, let me see what the original one smells like. Hopefully it smells like this, just maybe stronger or slight changes. But yeah, this one I would recommend to the right person because like with any fragrances, we all have different notes we gravitate towards, or different styles of fragrances we like more than others and whatnot, right? Okay, so just to wrap things up real quick, the quick rundown. The main notes you're going to get here, the main players is going to be, you're going to get that Cognac with that Cardamom. They feed off each other real well. I love the way that those two notes bounce off each other, right? And so it's going to be like a spicy sweetness, but you get that boozy note, right? So if you like boozy notes, you might like this one. And then you're going to get that tobacco and that incense, right? And a spice. So it's going to be either that, I think I'm leaning more towards like it's that cinnamon, but it also has the ginger and the cardamom, right? I think it's that cinnamon and that tobacco, right? So those are going to be the main notes you're going to get. There's a bunch of other notes here, but those are the main players right here. If you like stuff like Tom Ford's Oud Tobacco, you might enjoy this one. That one's also kind of has some woodsy notes, some tobacco, and some boozy notes as well. Much like this one. I would say that this has like a 25% resemblance to that Oud Tobacco one, which I love. And other fragrances that it reminds me of, if you like the one, you might enjoy this as well. If you like Dolce & Gabbana the one. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this one. Again, I'd like to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to hear me talk fragrances a little bit. And other than that, I think we're done here, and I'll check you guys out next time.